I don't understand a lot of things in life, like hummus, math, and what women look for in a man, but one thing I do know is looping in Dead by Daylight.
Number one victory royale, yeah, Fortnite, we bout to get down. 10 kills on the board right now, just wiped
Dude.
out Tomato Town. My friend spent down.
I'm playing like a bot right now.
Kinda. So today, I will teach you how to pull 3000 IQ plays in Dead by Daylight to make those rank 20s uninstall the game. If you learned something, consider subscribing. These videos do take a long time to make, and I'd really appreciate it. Alright, let's get on with the video. Let's start with TNO walls. You typically want to hit the windows in a running vault, and in this loop. You see me vault this window, the killer goes around, and vault this window. If the killer is a dummy and keeps this up, your teammates could get more than one gen done. But if the killer isn't running on 5 IQ, they will run the other way, forcing you to either vault or fake the window. This is where the mind games come in. You either vault or fake the window. This will typically come from experience, but if the killer is far away, you can be patient to see if the killer will double back, and if they do, use that time to go to the opposite window or to a different jungle gym. If you see the killer committing, vault the window, but leave a little space so you hit it with a fast fall. This might be a good time to tell you the difference between a fast, medium, and a slow vault. Fast fall happens when you're running out the window and vault. Medium vault is when you hold the sprint button and vault, and it also makes noise. Slow vault is when you just press the vault button without a run up or without holding the sprint button. Sometimes people will try to hit windows with a fast vault but don't have the right angle, which results them into a medium vault, which can get them downed or hit. With a bit of practice, you can typically hit medium vaults with a fast vault. Let's talk about long walls. Again, you want to hit them with a running vault, so you run them this way and go around. Depending on how the killer moves, you move the opposite direction and set yourself up to hit the window again with a fast vault. There is so much more to this jungle gym, but for beginners, just hit the window with a fast vault and try to keep doing that. And once you get more into it, let me introduce to you to something called unique pathing. Most players will just rinse and repeat the jungle gym, but the killer's brain will eventually grow bigger and gain more IQ, aka he'll know which path you're going to take. So try and change the path of the jungle gym. For example, going around a different wall and taking a different pathing to hit the vault. And if you are going around the wall and just trying to take a different pathing, make sure that the killer doesn't physically see you going around the wall, or else he'll just cut you off and hit you. So make sure to block line of sight and then make a quick 180 at the end. Again, this will come from experience, and if you have distance from the killer, you can easily do this and get away with it. If the killer isn't the best, you can waste a lot of time around this jungle gym without using the pallet. This is why this jungle gym is amazing. You can abuse the vault and go around many different walls, just confusing the killer. And careful when you go against killers that can throw or lunge at you, because killers like Huntress or Deathslinger or Demo know which path you're going to take and just get an easy hit. So this is when you need to hit them with the new mind games. Also, be careful when you're hugging the wall and going past the window, because the killer can easily hit you through it. And when you are running any jungle gym, basically you want to hug the wall as close as you can, but try not to get stuck. If you hug the wall, you might get the fastest loop possible, and you might even gain distance to get to a pallet or a window vault without the killer hitting you. Good luck. Applying the same principles as the previous jungle gym, you want to hit the window with a fast vault and keep going around. If the killer is good, he will run you the other way, again forcing a 50-50, either vault or not. However, you have more time to decide in case the killer double backs, and if you need to vault, remember to leave some distance so you can fast vault. You can also fake the vault and keep running around the jungle gym, wasting even more time for the killer. And if you keep doing the same thing, it allows the killer to cut corners and eventually hit you. Remember to apply some unique pathing in this jungle gym just to confuse the killer a little bit more, and before the bloodlust catches up to you, remember to drop the pallet and then go to a different jungle gym, wasting even more time for the killer. There are good pallets and there are bad pallets. How can you tell them apart? If you could look over the pallet and the killer has to go a long way around it, it's a good one. The pallet here is a bad pallet because a mind game can easily catch me. Don't waste these pallet loops, because once the pallet is gone, that place basically becomes a dead zone. Just loop around the pallet as much as you can, and when the time is right, drop the pallet. Don't get too greedy with the pallet either, because the killer will slowly catch up to you and smack your booty before you even get to touch the pallet. Beware of the killer pretending to break the pallet as well, and you might be wondering, what does that mean? Well, boosted killers get bloodlust when they chase a survivor for too long, and they can't live without it. It's a drug for them, and it's like heroin. They'll do anything to keep it. Breaking the pallet makes them lose bloodlust, so they will look down at the pallet, pretend to break it, and then to get you away from the hook, and then eventually hit you. Be patient and wait for the animation to actually start, and then run away. Killer Shack. Many maps have a killer shack where there is one window, 2 entrances, and a pallet at one of them. The pallet is known as the God Pallet. Try your best not to waste it until late game, and it is better to take a hit or even go down sometimes rather than wasting that pallet. You can do so many loops in this area if the killer isn't the best. Typically, you want to enter from the side that doesn't have the pallet and then vault the window. After vaulting, the killer might vault it or go around. Regardless of what the killer does, try your best to go back into the shack and set up for a fast vault. I say set up because killers know that you're going to vault it again and then double back. This is why you make sure the killer is committing going into the shack so you can hit it with a fast vault and not a medium. There is so much more you can do with the shack, like vaulting, then fast vaulting back, baiting a hit, going around the other side, but only if you have the distance to do so. Make sure you keep looking through the cracks in the shack so that the killer doesn't gamer you. And after a while, the killer will know that you're going to vault it, so you can fake a window vault. Again, there is so much more you could do with the killer shack before dropping the pallet, but enough practice you can pull off moves that make the killer want to DC. Intertwining. Now that you know how to loop different jungle gyms and pallets, learn how to connect them and go from one jungle gym to the next. If you can manage to do this, the killer will have a hard time catching you, and you might not even need to drop a pallet. The map isn't always designed that way, so try your best to adapt to the new map or the current map that you're playing on, and try your best. One last tip, remember to remain calm and constantly look back to make sure the killer doesn't cut you off. Good survivors will wait behind walls before running to a vault or running in a specific direction. Practice how to look in front of you and behind you while you are being chased, so that you don't run into anything and you know where the killer is at all times. With everything I said in this video, you can now go into your next DBD game and make the killer DC. I 100% guarantee it. And I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something that you can apply to your next Dead by Daylight game. If you did, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment down below letting me know what you learned. And yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Peace.
I need some motherfucking views.